Good morning, everybody. Let's get going with a bit of news. First up, we've got 1.4 thousand people who have been evacuated due to forest fires in Portugal. The fire started on the 5th of August, has injured 4 people, including 3 firefighters. I hope that this calms itself down. Having travelled Portugal, I know that it's quite a dry place, so a fire could quickly spread out of control. Much love to everyone involved. More than 1,000 people took to the streets of Haiti's capital, Port-au-Prince, on the 7th of August to protest against the violence of armed gangs. People demanded from the authorities help and protect from bandits. Now, this seems to be quite common when a government gets involved with America. It just seems that there is absolutely no consideration given to things like corruption, which will allow gangs like this to run rampant. I would suggest that Haiti look to places like China and Russia for support in how their police forces could actually work to benefit the people rather than these gangs. Mali, Burkina Faso send delegations to Niger. This is, of course, after America, the UK, France, and the whole of ECOWAS has put pressure not just on Niger, but also on Burkina Faso and other countries to prevent them from going in and helping. And it's just not working. These are people who are not interested in taking some sort of handout from the West indefinitely and fighting their own brothers. So God bless them, peace be with them. This is the moment that a grain silo exploded in a commercial port in Turkey. The incident occurred in an elevator as a ship was being loaded with grain. Pretty clear to me that there's some high-level explosives going on in there, and this will be something to do with the Ukrainians trying to smuggle explosives in via the ports. Protesters gathered in Niger's capital on Sunday to show their support for the military. I am yet to see any protest from the people of Niger that are against the military. It seems like this coup is very much on behalf of the people of Niger. ECOWAS is to hold a summit on Niger crisis after coup ultimatum expiration. Wow, well, that'll scare them, won't it? A summit. I'm sure they are quaking in their boots, and I imagine that the reality will come out quite clearly that there is nothing that they can do to stop a country from taking itself back in this way. Maybe those men should realise that. Ethiopian Prime Minister Abiy holds talk with South Sudanese President. Great to see cross-African relations improving. I know that there's been some pressure in Ethiopia, but there seems to be some decent people making decisions there, so I hope that continues. South Africa has revealed the list of countries that have applied for BRICS membership. Among the countries are Algeria, Argentina, Cuba, Egypt, and Thailand. Now, what is shocking for me is Argentina. I believed Argentina had retracted their application, and in turn the EU was going to acknowledge the Malvinas as Argentinian. Obviously, the backtracking of the EU has led to a pretty understandable backtracking of Argentina. People just need to start telling the truth, frankly, and not worrying about things like BRICS, because it's a trade alliance and it makes no difference to you if people are doing better. In fact, it's better for the whole world if we're all richer. France unhappy with Niger's suspension of France 24, but does Paris remember banning Sputnik? I get most of my information about Africa from Sputnik, being an African channel, and obviously men on the ground who message me. I really think it's interesting, the hypocrisy that's come out of these countries discussing how terrible it is to ban France 24 when, I've not been able to watch Russia Today for over a year now, nearly 2 years now, because they don't like what they say. Pick a side. Either you're all for people having all different types of information, or you're against it. It's one or the other. Delegation from UN, African Union, and ECOWAS have reported to visit Niger for talks. Again, talking isn't going to change this. These people want to keep their country, and there's no amount of talking or anything else, I would say, that is going to turn that around. America has ordered its proxies Nigeria, Senegal, Benin, and Cote d'Ivoire to send 25,000 troops to the war against Niger. I had thought that Benin had stood with Niger in this, and I believe that Senegal was having quite a lot of social unrest because they were, the government was suggesting that they should get involved, and the people don't want them to. I'm seriously hoping that this leads to an end of American involvement in Africa rather than Africans fighting Africans. They've got Slavs fighting Slavs. They want to try and make the Taiwanese fight the Chinese. This is just terrible, and I hope that these countries can see through that. Malaysia and Russia upgrading double taxation treaty. Russia and Malaysia are preparing to conclude a new double taxation treaty. I don't actually know what that means, but if people that care want to screenshot it and read it, please do carry on now, because it's all quite beyond me. Germany, Georgia and Kazakhstan to help Russia evade sanctions. Germany's exports to Georgia increased 87%. And Germany's exports to Kazakhstan rose even more by 137%. And then here, Germany's exports to Kyrgyzstan increased by 2,000% over the last 3 years. And this is how sanctions are simply not working. I don't think they'd work even if they worked, but still, the reality is that countries in Europe cannot exist well without supplying Russia. Russia's a huge market, and it's where we get our raw produce from. This is just ludicrous. PayPal has launched a cryptocurrency called Stablecoin. A trucking company in America has gone bankrupt due to debt. Oh well. And this is really interesting. Ukraine is still selling titanium to Russia, which it's needed for the production of aeroplanes and missiles. Ukraine is up to 20% of the world's resource of titanium ores, and it's selling them to Russia. So, we've got people taking UK benefits and going to Ukraine on holiday for a month this summer. We've got Ukraine selling titanium to Russia to build aircraft, and we've got Russia selling oil to Ukraine. This war is just mental. Absolutely sheer mental. They just need to get around a table and talk. It just seems an excuse to kill people now. Anyway, that's me for the morning. God bless. Have a good day. Do look me up on Telegram, Diplomacy is Free, YouTube, Diplomacy is Free, or you could sign up to be one of my patrons, which supports me and my young family, or otherwise maybe buy me a coffee. I'll put the link down below. Thank you and God bless. Good morning, everybody. Let's get